Hello, my name is Philip Rulo with Rultract, and today I would like to introduce our stabilizer bar that actually goes under the OR table and helps to stabilize the Rultract to reduce lean-in under very significant loads on obese patients. So I'm going to walk you through how to put it on the table, how to adjust it, and of course how to remove it from the table as well. So let's get started. So because this piece is not a sterile piece, it can be left in the OR or in the hallway on a shelf, and when it is needed, we could bring it into the OR and simply put it onto the table. Now, I'd recommend putting this on the table before the patient's in the room, and in order to put it on the table, what you're going to do is just simply, you're going to go under the OR table with the bracket and maybe have somebody on the other side that can put the bracket on. You don't need two people to do this. I can do this myself. So trust me, if I can do it, anybody can do it. So we're going to go ahead and put that on the other side. Now what you'll see here is this is adjustable. It's very important when you put it on the table, what you want to do is to move it under the table, adjust it in. So it's under the table and out of the way. That's why we made this adjustment. If you put it on the table before the patient's in the room or while the patient's being draped, and you don't adjust it in, you're going to be hitting it. It's going to be in your way. So once you put it on the table, just make sure you go ahead and slide that out of the way. And that also comes into play when we remove the Rultract from the field later in the case. We're also going to be able to slide this under the table so it will be out of the way. So now we're going to go through setting up the Rultract clamp and post and how to adjust the bracket. When you are ready to set the Rultract up, what you're going to do is just reach under the table and pull the bracket adjustment all the way out. Then you'll put your Rultract clamp on the table as you normally would. Then you would put your bottom post in and tighten it into position. Now you're going to put your hooks onto the rail in order to hold the bracket in place. Then you can go ahead and turn this knob until you see the cup of the bracket makes contact with the bottom post. And at this time, all you want to do is to make sure that you're making contact with the post. You don't need to tighten it very tight. So from here, what we're going to do is continue to set our Rultract up, and then I will show you how to further adjust the bracket in order to reduce the lean-in of the retractor on large patients. As you can see here, we do have the Rultract set up and ready for use. What I'm going to do now is to put some weight on the snap clip so we can see the effect of the Rultract with a significant amount of weight and how it's going to lean in. Now keep in mind that these demo rails are only supported on one side. This is a free rail coming out from the other side. So there's going to be significantly more lean here than what you would have in the actual OR, but for the purpose of our demonstration, that's a good thing. So I'm going to go ahead and put the weight on. It's actually going to tilt my table forward as well. But as you can see here, this is a very significant load. It's 35 pounds on a very unstable rail. So we have the Rultract leaning in very significantly. What we're going to do now is to reduce that lean in by using our adjusting bracket. So we already have it into position. What we're going to do now is continue to turn our knob to try to bring a little bit of that lean in out. And I'm going to do that first by holding my table and making sure it doesn't flip forward. And I will just turn it with my weak hand to show you how easy this is actually to turn. So as I'm turning it, you're going to see the retractor start to come back toward me. And that is obviously going to clear the field for the surgeon and also provide a more stable base on obese patients, whether it be for pectus, for resternotomy, or even for IMA. So as I continue to turn this, you see we are reducing that lean in. And of course, when I say my weak hand, I'm using my left hand to turn this. So obviously, this has demonstrated that we're able to reduce the lean in with the bracket under a very significant load with a very flimsy demo rail. So on an OR table that's significantly more stable, this would be even more effective. But for the purpose of the demonstration, I think this demonstrates very well how this works. When the surgeon is finished using the Rultract, obviously the procedure will continue. So what we want to do is to remove this from the field. So what we're going to do is first take our top post, extender bar, and ratchet off. Please use 2 hands when you do that. Grab the collar, grab the ratchet assembly, and just go ahead and lift with 2 hands, and you can hand it off to remove it from the field. Now we're going to take our bottom post and clamp off, and then we're going to move the bracket out of the way without actually having to remove the bracket, because when the bracket's under load, it could be hard to take it off the other side. If the surgeon is on the other side, he isn't going to want to remove it. So what we're going to have to do is just clear it from this space and not interfere with the procedure. So first, what you're going to do is turn your adjusting knob the opposite direction to reduce tension on your bracket. And then you're going to remove your Rultract clamp and your post. Now, some places will obviously take the post out and may leave the clamp in position. Other ORs, the clamp seems to be in the way and people will bump into it and they don't want it on the table, so they will remove it. Now, in order to remove it, you're going to have to open your adjusting stabilizer bar a little bit further just to provide space to remove your clamp. Go ahead and loosen your knob on your clamp. You can just remove it, obviously, from the field pretty easily. Now, again, there is an adjusting knob on the opposite side here that you can't see. And what you're going to do is just lift up a little bit so you can take your hooks off. You just lift up, they should just fall off. Now, as you can see here, this could be in the way. So what we're going to do is just push it out of the way. And all you do is pull your spring-loaded knob out on the opposite side that I'll show you and just slide it in. Now you have cleared the field. It stays on the table. The surgeon has not been interrupted and the procedure can continue. Following the procedure, when you have the time, you just simply remove it from the table. And again, you can leave it in the OR or in the hallway where it's easily accessible if it needs to be used. So that is how you set the equipment up. That is how it works. And this is obviously how we remove it. Again, thank you for taking the time to watch the video. I hope you found it helpful.